Hello everybody again, this is Johnny S and we're doing the Path of Exile Part 2 review. So in the previous video we had a lot of the introduction to the game. Now we're going to have a look at a little bit more of integral components. So let's log in. Previously we had made this character just for testing purposes. Let's log into this character. We are on Lioness Watch, which is the first initial town. So this is just a recap, sort of speaking. So this was the town that we were in, and these are the items that we have collected so far. So now we're going to have a look at a little bit more detail of the NPCs. So as can be seen, most of these items I cannot equip because they are unidentified. So let's identify our shield, and we can wear that. You can also compare items by holding down control. So this seems to be pretty much the same sword, so we can go ahead and sell it. We can identify an amulet and wear the amulet also. This is a support gem, which can be also applied to a double strike, so we can also socket it here. And if you have a look now, there is a chance to cause bleeding. So this support gem is something that you can attach to normal gems. You can also take this away and can put them in here. So you can put them and you can combine any two gems or more as long as they're linked. So if you have a look, you will see that there's a one socket here, but there's no other second socket. You can see that there's another socket here. This item has three sockets. So we can take our gem and put it on the green socket, but there's no link in between these two. So if you have a look at the skill here, it says the damage that it has, 4 to 9 physical damage and 25 chance to cause bleeding. If we equip this gem on a linked socket with a red, this one will add an additional 25 chance to cause bleeding. So if we hover over, you will see the 25 chance, and if we add this to it, it's good. So you can change the skills and you can make them have multiple effects in order to, specialize your build and expand, and you can modify the behavior of specific skills. Some support gems will add damage, some will change the utility of the skills, and so forth. So the rest of the items which we have collected, we do not really need them, so we can go ahead and sell them. So just select sell, control and left click on any item, we'll put them here. So you can sell whatever you don't need. Another thing to notice in this game, which is very interesting in comparison to other games, is that there is no gold. So whenever you sell an item, you acquire different currency items, such as this, and each currency item is utilized for different purposes in the game. So this is an interesting concept that within Path of Exile, where you don't actually have gold, you have currency items, and you can trade on these currency items. There is a person that has just sent us a trade request, so we can invite him to our party from the actual chat. We can go to our sell tab, and we can see that he's requested for one of these, all three. Okay, so there's a 15 chaos each, so he wants all three of them. We teleport to his area, and we right click his icon and trade. We're going to give him these three, and he will give us the chaos in respect. So we just type thank you, and we leave the party. So this is one of the transactions. This is how you perform a trade. on your in Path of Exile. So we just acquired a couple of chaoses at the moment. Let's put all this in our storage, or what we call the stash. We click the stash, we can put everything here. When you first begin the game, you're going to have a simple stash tab, which is going to look something like, let's say, this. So you're going to have one stash tab at the top, and this is where you put your items. If you want to store something, you put it here, and if you want to take it out, you'll take it out. This is one of the, and you begin with three stash tabs, three normal stash tabs. This is one part of the game where you can pay money, real life money, and you can purchase specific stash tabs, which really make your life easier and have specific utility. So let's say I had collected a couple of things, and let's say I had this and this, and I just began my character, so I have three stash tabs. All these things, you are limited how many you can hold because you literally have three stash tabs. So if you put this here, slowly, as you see, it's going to fill up more and more and more, and eventually you run out of space. There is a way to go around this, but you do have to pay real life money, where you actually buy dedicated stash tabs for specific things. So these are considered items, and these are considered currency. At the moment, I have purchased a couple of stash tabs, and I will go through them really quickly. So the first stash tab is the currency stash tab. So as you can see, instead of storing on, like a socket here, you can have specific currency items, and each one of these items can hold many of the same items. So this one here is 30 orbs of scarring. In your inventory here, you can hold only 30. So if I take, let's use a different item. Let's take chaos, for example. This is one of the most common currency in the game. Many people trade with chaos orbs because it has a versatile functionality, and therefore it's one of the most common trading currencies. If I take, I have at the moment 818 and 20 in my inventory. If I stack them here, you will see that you can only hold 20. So if you see stack size, 20 out of 20. So slowly, it becomes a little bit difficult to manage your space if you don't have enough. So if I had this tab and I will put my chaos there, you can see that I can only hold up to 20. So slowly, this is going to fill up. This is where the stash tabs comes into place. And if you hover over this one, you will see that you can stack multiple. Even though it says out of 20, at the moment I have 758. So this is the purpose why you buy stash tabs. You can easily manage on specific slots your currency. So if I click this, I do not have to drag and drop it on top. It knows that it has to go to this specific slot, and if I control left click, it will automatically go there. And there's a huge limit here. If I'm not mistaken, you can hold up to 5,000 per one of these slots. So as you can understand, there's a whole bunch of things that you can store into your currency tab. This, if you ask me, I will say is the main currency tab that is really worth purchasing. How much does it cost to purchase? Let's go on the market, and we can go onto the categories. This is the market where you buy with real money. At the moment, we have 35 coins, and if you pay real money, you can buy additional, points. If you click, if you click here, you can actually see how many points you can buy. So $5, you can get 50 points. $10, you can get 100 points, and slowly build up your thing. If you go to the stash tabs, you have gem, flask, currency stash tab. This is the one that we're talking about. It requires 75 of these gold coins. So if you have a look at 75, you're looking at around $7.50, which in euros is around six, let's say, euros. So it's quite cheap. It's not, you can spend some money, and if you buy a currency tab, you literally do not need anything else after that. The one of the most important ones is the currency stash tab, which is going to make your life much easier and be able to store multiple things. We have already purchased this currency tab, stash tab, and let's put all our currency in. And there's more stash tabs. The ones that I have purchased at the moment, and I have broken them down into categories, is basically the stash tab, the main one for the currency. Then I have one with the maps. So these are the things which you run at the end of the game, and you can actually, this is what the end game is considered. You run maps and you unlock the athletes slowly. We'll get into it at a later stage. I have purchased a fragment tab. So this stash shows you different frags within the game. There's different components. We're not going to go into a lot of detail what each one of these does, but you can see that there's multiple sort of things which get stored in here. I have a delirium stash tab. I have a divination card stash tab, a blight stash tab, an essences stash tab, and all these things make it easier for me to store different things. Um, this is another stash tab. This is a delve stash tab. Another interesting thing that might be useful to a new player is in order for you to sell things, you have to have a sale stash tab. So when you begin, you do not have the capability to sell items unless you purchase a sale stash tab or something which is called a premium stash tab. When you begin, you're going to have these stash tabs which you cannot modify them, you cannot change their names, you cannot perform any operations onto them. When you upgrade an existing stash tab or you purchase a new stash tab, you're able to right click onto it and you have a couple of properties here. If you make it public, it means that whatever item you put in here, people can see and they can buy items from you. So you can say, I want, and you can change its name obviously. So you can call it, for example, sale example, sell example one. You can say, I want to price my items individually. So each item will have a different price that I put here, or all items have a specific price. You can choose a color for it. So let's make it pink just for, you know, just to showcase. You select OK, and then you can put an item inside here. Once you place an item here, you can actually right click onto it, and there's specific properties. So you can put exact price, negotiate, do not index, or place a note. In most cases, you'll say exact price. By default, the most common currency is selected, chaos orbs. You can change this if you want. And let's say I want to sell it for 2 chaoses. You select OK, and if you have this item, you will see that it has a price. So anybody that will log into online, there's a specific trade site that you go in, will have a look at this item, and you will see that it costs 2 chaoses. And they can message me and they can purchase this item from me. So let's reverse what we've just done. And let's sell these items also to the vendor. We're going to delete this character. This was just to showcase the initial gameplay of the game. We're going to delete this character. We're going to use a different character to continue our videos because it's going to have better access to different components. So we just sold everything. This character is empty. Let's put whatever little currency we have collected. So this is my progress. This is your permanent server. It's not a seasonal server, and this is where you see the whole progress of what you have accumulated so far. So throughout the years that I've played, this is what I have at the moment, and this will go up and down. When you're making a new character and when you're building new things, you can utilize this to make your characters, and you're going to use your currency basically to build up your character, buy items, and this is one part of the nice thing that you can use your currency for. This is the main purpose of acquiring currency. Or you can just stash currency for whatever your reason you want and to be later used. When you make a season character, this you start from zero. It holds your layout, so it's quite similar to how I have grouped them in different sort of categories and in tabs and everything. So I have my sales, I have a storage, which is just a general different portions and everything. I cannot use most of these items at the moment because I have a level restrictment. So if you hover over, you see it says required level 33. At the moment, I'm at level 2 because we just began with this character. This is why I'm going to delete this character and go into a different one so you can actually have a look at how these things work. Uh, let's delete this character and go into one of the season characters so you can actually see that it's actually the same stash tab but with nothing there since you have just begun. So in order to delete a character, you go to the character selection screen, you select him, you delete, and you press delete. It's as simple as that. At the moment, if you have a look here, you will see Standard League, Standard League. These are all the permanent characters. And there's one character here, which is Affliction. This is a character that I have created on level 43, which is within the Affliction season. So let's go into this one, double click. He is at the moment situated on a different town called Highgate. And if you have a look here, when I will go to Mustache tab, there's different contents. So these are the items that I have accumulated over this season. Uh, it's the same layout as you see, but there's much, much less. So there's pretty much nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. You begin from the beginning, sort of a way. Divination cards, I've only collected one, let's say. So there's very minimal things in comparison to my other stash tab. And in my sales, it has kept the same store stash, but there's nothing that I'm selling at the moment. On storage, there's a couple of items here. Once the season ends, all these items will get transferred to your permanent server. So you don't lose any progress. And this is one of the characters that I have made on the season, just to showcase. Let's go back to our character selection and let's choose one of my other characters just to actually have access. So we're going to use the Barbarian. This is one of the classes. The Marauder is called. It's the tank class in the game. He's level 95 and he's on the permanent season. So we're going to use this character in order to demonstrate. So I just went to the beginning town, which is this town here. This character I have played throughout the whole campaign, so everything is unlocked and you can have a look at what it is. So these places here are teleports that you can teleport. This is Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Each one of these things are little, maps, and there's a town on each one of these, the green icon. Act 4, Act 5, this is part of the story in the campaign. Then there's part 2, where it starts on Act 6, Act 7, Act 8, Act 9, Act 10. Once you finish all this, you go to the epilogue. It basically has one town here, which is the end town. Let's go to that as well. So I just clicked on the waypoint and I was able to teleport to the Karui shores. So wherever you see a waypoint, this is what they are called, waypoints, you can actually click on this and use it to teleport to different locations. Another interesting thing with this game is that you can make your hideout. So a hideout is something like a home, let's say. So you don't, once you reach the end game, you don't have to travel from places to places. At the moment, if you click this icon here, it says travel to your hideout. And your hideout is literally a place that you can edit. This is a nice component of the game and you can make it however you want. So whatever you see here has been created either by me or other players. You can take hideouts from other players and load them, and you can use these as your central area. People will come here for you to trade. This is where you can run your maps, and this is where you will spend most of your time. So you don't have to go into actual different towns within the game. You can make your own hideout. What I have done here is I have created a waypoint. So whoever visits me will come here. I have a little path which goes uphill kind of a way. I have a couple of statues. I have some effects with clouds. All these things can be edited. At the center, we have our map device. This is where we run our maps. So this is considered the end game. And I have a couple of NPCs around that provide some functionality. And these are my stash tabs. This is my crafting bench, so you can craft items here. And this is my stash tab here. All these effects that you see, you can manipulate. So if I show you and you go to edit, straight away you see all the different labels here. And let's say I want to take my crafting bench, which is this one here, and I want to move it there. So you can move all these places around. If you click edit again, then it's saved automatically. And if you click on your craft bench, you can have your craft bench here. So all these things, you can edit them and make them however you like. You can spin it around, you can move it, and just click edit will automatically store what you've done. I like to put it here. And you can change the music, you can export or import to different hideouts. This is one of the functionalities in the game. You can also change hideouts if you want, so you can store more than one hideout by going into this NPC here, Helena, and you choose select hideout, and there's different hideouts. These hideouts, you unlock them through the game. So there's specific areas as you're going through when you're uncovering the campaign that you access specific areas. Basically has a small quest where it says kill the enemies in the area. Once you kill all the enemies, there's a message that pops up and it says you have unlocked the brutal hideout. And you can actually use this from then on to make your house. Some of these hideouts you purchase with money. So the ones that I have unlocked at the moment are most of these. The ones that I have actually purchased is one, which is the boundless hideout. Basically, it's just clouds. It's an empty hideout. Some of them have, pre-configured terrain. Celestial hideout. This is another one that I have bought, if I remember correctly. And I think that's all that I have bought. And the towering hideout. This is a huge tower where you're at the top here. So if we go swap, it's going to load our new hideout, and this is a new hideout. So this is something that I bought. Again, in the center, I have my map device, and spread all around, I have my stash tab. The layout that I use is pretty similar. So I have my crafting on this side, my stash tab on this side, a waypoint, a map device, and some NPCs. So this is another one that I loaded. It's a nice effect. We're on top of a tower. Your hideout can be as small, as compact, or as much as you want to expand it. Again, let's go to Helena, and we can say select hideout, and we can swap to our previous hideout, which, if I remember correctly, was Boundless Skies. Yep, Boundless Skies. So from this point and forward, we're going to spend most of our time in this hideout, where I will explain all the components of the game. So I think we're going to end our part 2 video here. Just to summarize, we discussed the different areas of the game. We went from the initial gameplay for an introduction to what an end game character looks that has completed all the storyline. We explained a little bit of the locations in the game, what is a hideout, how you're going to situate yourself, how to make a hideout, what is a stash tab, what's a currency, some things that you can buy with real money to help yourself in your gameplay. And we'll make another video with more in-depth components as far as making the builds. So this is Johnny S. I bid you good night.